Welcome, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend so far. Excuse me. I hope everybody's having a great Saturday. It's really cold and rainy and nasty here in Tennessee right now, and and I'm not enjoying it. If I'm if I'm being totally honest, uh, but I haven't seen you guys in a few days, and I'm sorry for that. I am really glad to see you guys today. I think this is exactly what I needed. Hang out with you guys a bit, have a little fun. Welcome, SB. I am very much looking forward to kicking it with you guys tonight. Um, I I've been bed bound. Little caught a little bug and I've been bed bound last couple of days, but I'm feeling better today, um, or at least tonight. And hopefully, between you guys and the coffee and my trusty pen, things get uh, and our videos that we're going to be going over things pick up here. I I do yeah. So I was just and also dude, I'm not even trying to lie. Like I was just watching like the most depressing movie like ever. It was the saddest thing I've ever seen. I still got like another 40 minutes to go. Uh it was it's oh my god. Like mind-numbingly sad. Really good acting though. But geez. Let me ask you guys something. What like there's not many things that I can imagine that would be more depressing than watching an eviction happen. Uh like really think about it. Like really think about the process, where sheriff's department shows up to somebody's door, knocks on the door, there's some dude from the bank and he's like, or depending whatever, it's the manager of your apartment complex, whatever. There's some dude from the bank, let's just say, and is like, I have a paperwork here signed by a judge, and this today is the day of your eviction, and you have to get out. Like you have to vacate the premises right now. You need to actually step outside. You cannot close this door. You have to step outside. Cops ask if they have any weapons, and then you got to step outside and stand on the curb. You can't stand in your yard. Excuse me, sir. Please, just you got to stand on the curb. Don't breach the yard area. This is no longer your home and now belongs to the bank. But this is our home. No, wait a second. Let me call my lawyer. Blah blah blah. You're not understanding. You need to get out right now. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to pull together some property that you find to be what you absolutely need right now. For instance, checkbooks, wallets, jewelry, anything of the most sentimental value, grab it. Right now, imagine watching a movie where they do it through what seems to be the whole movie so far in that detail. Like I was sitting there going, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I was just so bummed out watching this. Man. And all the neighborhood is like standing outside watching it. They're asking this old man, do you have anywhere you can go? Do you have anybody you can call? The old man's like, no. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, how do you sleep at night doing that? And it's the thing, it's got to be done. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that, and really there's only one way to do it. You know what I mean? There's no other way than just to be cold-blooded, go in there, just get it figured out, and then right, and after all of the arguing and all of the pleading, it's okay, go on in, and then they send a crew of what look like a bunch of scumbags, and they're probably just honest working people, work construction, do this for an extra gig. I get it, but they seem like scumbags because they're directly involved in this horrible scenario, and they're just the bad guys, the grunt work of taking all of your shit and putting it outside. And sometimes they steal the shit. It's just yeah. So I was just doing that. I was just watching a movie where it was all about that. It's called 99 Homes. Yeah, if you're borderline suicidal, don't watch it. Yeah, but it's called 99 Homes. It has Michael Shannon, who's one of my favorite actors, Andrew Garfield, who is growing to be one of my favorite actors, and the movie's like 7 years old. But oh my god, man, I was like, okay, man, I gotta, I no matter how I feel right now, I gotta just do a live, you know. Uh, Even though I already pretty much planned on it, but this was like, okay, yeah, get the fuck up, get out of bed, and go do this. Um, and yeah, and I, like I said, I still got 40 minutes left. I don't even know. No, it's on Hulu. But I was like, geez, man. And I'd never even heard of the movie, and I watched tons of movies. But I will say that I binge watched yesterday. I binged watched on Peacock. I binged watched Friend of the Family. Okay. That was insane. A lot of you guys, I mean, this is a true crime community, so a lot of you guys might have forgotten about it, but it was a popular, it was a popular Netflix documentary a couple years ago. It was called Kidnapped in Plain Sight. Like, you guys remember the meme? You guys remember this meme? Hold on, let me see the meme. Hold on, what was that guy's name? Bob. Oh no, hold on. What was this guy? There it is, right there. Okay. Oh wait, no, that's the bad guy. Um, there we go. Is that him? No. Yeah, okay. Here we go. You guys remember the memes with this dude? Hold on. I got to share the screen now. The only reason I'm laughing because it's a screwed up story, man. It is a messed up story, but because of the Netflix documentary, there were these memes that came out because the story was so insane. Uh Hold on. No, that's, I shared the wrong thing, my bad. Um oh, it's not letting me. Oh well. Maybe okay, let me just look it up. Hold on. Here we go. Boom. Maybe there's actually a video that has them all. Hold on. Oh, please don't strike me for this. This is so funny. Was extremely disturbed. He says, "Are you free? Let's go for a ride." You guys don't remember that the memes with this dude? They would say stuff like, "We're going masturbating." All right, I'll explain a little bit before we get into the intended content here. I'll explain a little bit the history with that guy. Okay, because there was there was so many memes made of this guy, and uh he apparently what happened was, okay, there's this whole story. This girl, they had this guy hanging out in their house all the time, this friend of the family, as the dramatization version miniseries on Hulu, that's or on Peacock, that's out now. um that's based on that documentary, the story in that documentary, which came out on Netflix a while back. And the story goes, basically, you got this girl named Janny, and they were, of course, LDS, I mean, and not to say, I don't even feel like explaining it, but yes, is it a surprise? No. So these are LDS people in Idaho, and they went to a church, and they made friends with another family in the church, and then the dude in the other family just was like, took like a taking to the kids, especially one particular one of the kids of the other family, and they all interacted together and did stuff together all the time. And then um this dude started spending a lot of time with the girl, right, with the young girl who was 12. And like the parents just kept making these horrible decisions. Like the mom ended up uh letting him go, hey, she needs allergy pills, so I'm going to give her allergy pills. And then he'd give her a pill, and then he somehow convinced the mom to let him lay down in the room and listen to tapes of his therapist and psychologist, because it helped him and it would help her. And the psychologist recommended that he does it, right? So they would just like, so he would do horrible things, but the mom would just leave him in there thinking that they're just listening to psychologist tapes. And so that just being one of the examples. But he ended up manipulating these parents in the most fucked up way. And that that image of the dad became a meme, because this dude tells a story about how he talked him into I know it's a true story. Yeah, that was the real guy. Like Colin Hanks plays him in this movie, or in this miniseries, but in the documentary, yeah, that's the real guy. And the, the guy tells this story that that he's talked him into jerking him off, like, and he's not even gay, you know what I mean? Like, he talked him into it because he told him this story about when he was a kid, and he would screw around with his friends, and they would do that because they were looking at girly magazines, and which is really not that uncommon in pre-adolescent behavior amongst boys, if you didn't know. So if you catch your son doing that shit, don't be all shocked and freaked out, and don't make him feel like shit. Just ask any psychologist. It's actually quite normal behavior. But he talked him into doing this as a grown fucking man, which was really weird. And then they made these memes because of how popular that documentary was. But if you want to know the rest, it's just the point of, I was just trying to remind you guys of the documentary series that you may have forgotten about. That mini series on Peacock, that is a dramatization, is based on that story. And it's a really sad story and a crazy story. It's insane. And the whole time you're going to be going, what are these parents thinking? What are they doing? Oh yeah. He ended up committing suicide. B, as they called him. Yeah, the real guy ended up committing suicide. And the victim, she ended up doing a lot of real good, a lot of victim advocacy, and a lot of awareness spreading. Like, she really overcame that ordeal, and it is insane. Like, this guy convinced her that that there were aliens that needed the two of them to repopulate their planet. Uh yeah, brother B, exactly. Yeah, oh, the whole story is just disgusting. Um, but yeah, so I was just glued to my TV watching that. Um, I was just glued to it. Um, I don't know why y'all over here. Ickedmel's over on his channel, giving away free money. um, so we're gonna go over. Actually, speaking of Ickedmel, we're gonna go over. He did a live stream a couple days ago where he went over this footage that I'm going to go over now. And so, and Ickedmel released it without commentary. Um, and that was very, very nice of him to do. And so, and I got his blessing to go over it, seeing as it is his content. And so, and yeah, hold on, sorry. So we're going to be going over that. Yeah, this is basically my understanding of it. Jared basically poaching Carson on video, poaching Carson from a smaller startup company, and basically threatening them if they try to come after him for poaching him. It's just another example of how much Jared Leisek is an absolute and utter piece of shit. Um, and we're just gonna drag him for it, as you know we like to do here on the Glare.
So, as we've all acknowledged, is okay and appropriate with your company, that nothing goes on that one. We really enjoyed having Carson on site with us and on scene. We were working with the Diesel Brothers a couple days ago.
I can't stand this guy's beanie ass face, dude. You know what I mean? Like he's just got that weasel ass face. Like he just, it's almost like God or whatever decided to create the weasel. Like this is, we're gonna make him act like one, and we're gonna make him look like one in human form.
As such, I approached Carson and said, Carson, here's what I'm willing to pay you. And it didn't take Carson long to say, yeah, I would love to actually be on the road with you and go shoot and edit and be a part of the entire AWP organization. So anyway, I said, that's on you. Just so you know, Carson, I'm leaving, whether you come with us or whether you
And
don't.
you can even, I mean, just look at him, dude. Like you can even, like, if you used your imagination to try to picture what a kid rapist would look like, I mean, come on. Is that far off? Like let's right. He looks like JLR. It looks like dude, it totally looks like him and JLR were totally cut from the same cloth. Like JLR is this dude's afterbirth. Like
so this is on Carson as to whether he's going to be joining us or not. But also, let me come back to the father and the mentor and the business. I've been in business for 25 years. I've built 4 multi-million-dollar companies. I've dealt with, the wow. Utah startups and the young entrepreneurs, and I love the hustle.
He's just flexing because he's basically, this is all, remember, the whole point of this video is to intimidate a smaller company and make them afraid to try to take Carson back. And Carson seems like a little weasel himself. Like I watched that little footage that he was on, and yeah, he's a little weasel himself.
The hustle from you guys, all right? I get it. But I also know, like, there may be some bullshit contracts in place whether we have a non-solicit or non-compete or NDA, you see, whatever that bullshit is.
You see what he's doing right here? It's real interesting. Like some bullshit contract. He doesn't know how sound that contract is. He's just doing the same shit that he did in that email to try to intimidate in a subtle way. He's just not being quite so subtle here, but trying to intimidate and bully is all he's doing here.
All right. It just keeps the honest people honest is what it does. And it tries to, and it's also written and in favor of the company, which then, if you look up litigation law, is going to take you down a different path as to if it's written in to benefit the company, you guys are already toast. But in addition,
wow. So yeah, I read this litigation thing. I looked into litigation. I did a little homework on it. So just so you guys know, you know.
In addition to that, we all know, I know, because I've been through litigation a million times. If you have any of these bullshit contracts and you try to pull anything over,
I bet you have. I bet you have. There's a lot of really honest and successful businessmen out there that have never been in litigation. What does that say about you? That you've been in litigation a million times, you douchebag.
over on Carson, let me just be very straight with you. One is you guys don't want to spend the money on litigation because
look at those coke eyes, bro. Like, dude, you know how many assholes like this I knew when I was growing up in Miami? You know how many dickheads like this I knew that like were, and I'm talking in Miami alone, that had so much to do, that contributed to the housing crash in 2008 for just basically approving every asshole out there for a mortgage. Every fucking douchebag coke dealer that I ever met was a fucking mortgage broker as a legit job. And that wasn't even legit. These guys fuck the housing market. Guys like this fuck the housing market.
Because I have more adult money than you do, and I will back Carson. Just being very straight with you, I will back Carson. Make sure that no financial burden falls on Carson, because I'm offering him a lot of money, benefits to grow outside of what he's currently doing, which is editing. That I'm going to be bringing him into a producer role or co-producing.
Like, what's the point of this video besides just bullying? Like, you can't just simply fucking just be a professional and offer the person in charge of that company and offer them, just make an offer. Why put out this video? What if you're all about victims and your focus is simply victims? Because he hasn't mentioned a victim once, by the way. He hasn't mentioned what they do is so important for victims. He hasn't done that yet. So, but we're supposed to believe that Adventures with Purpose was all about bringing closure to victims' families and loved ones, right? We're supposed to believe that with this video, because that's probably why this video was not available. As I understand it, this video is provided by an anonymous source, and this video is not available anywhere publicly except for on Ickedmel's channel. Because one thing tells me that's because this guy didn't want it out there, because it shows what his motives actually are. It shows what type of person he is. It is extremely telling that this dude only gives a fuck about capitalizing. And we're going to get into some of that too.
And just so much more. You're like, well, this is Carson's time to shine. He's 20 years old, and it's time for him to grow. So anyway, I just wanted to be very transparent with you guys. Leaving regardless. Would love to take Carson if Carson's on board, and don't give him any grief if he decides to leave. Let's all wish him well, and I'm going to continue to mentor him and help him grow.
See, that's that same, he's trying to sound like a professional, he's trying to, he's threatening without threatening. This is the same shit that they pulled with Kylie Rodney. Let's accuse Jagger of a crime without accusing Jagger of a crime, right? let's say that Sammy Smith, while they're on a boat, while they're on a canoe with their equipment looking for, let's take a phone call and say that Sammy Smith had something to do with it without saying that Sammy Smith had something to do with it. Mr. Real, fucking Doug Bishop, Mr. Real, because I'm real, I'm real. I know whatever I'm going to do is going to be the right thing for my heart because I'm real, because it's, got to be real in this world, in this life. You got to be real. And I know that this decision that I'm making moving forward, it's because I'm real. Fucking douche.
Grow. And someday, if he comes over here, he's going to grow and he's going to fly from my nest as well.
Fuck, dog.
And you know what? That's what we do as a team over here. Anyway, on that note, we need to decide how we're going to be wrapping this up because we will not be continuing.
Yeah, see, he's over here like, actually, let me play that one more time because it's really subtle what he does.
For him to grow. So more, to grow, I'm being very straight with you. One is
here. I'm being very straight with you.
Well, I know because I've been through litigation a million times. If you have any of these bullshit contracts and you try to pull anything over on Carson, let me just
so let me threaten you. Like if you try to convince Carson, in any way, shape, or form to not come with my company, then watch out. And he's explaining why. He's just not saying that. He just says right here, let me just be very straight with you.
One is you guys don't want to spend the money on litigation because I have more adult money than you do, and
I know more about money than you do. You don't want to spend the money on litigation. Like, basically, give me your fucking lunch money. You want me to beat you up? Give me your lunch money. Stand up against the wall. Empty your pockets. That's what he's doing right here. On a white collar level.
Back Carson. Just being very straight with you. I will back Carson, make sure that no financial burden falls on Carson. Because I'm offering him a lot of money. Benefits to grow outside of what he's currently doing, which is editing. That I'm going to be bringing him into a producer role or co-producing, and just so much more. This is Carson's time to shine. He's 20.
Yeah, I'm going to offer him a hell of a lot more than you could ever think of offering him. You can't afford him in comparison to me because what I'm offering him is it. And here's the thing is, I call bullshit. You know what I mean? Because most bullies are fucking soft bitches anyway, right? I call bullshit. Because do I think he has money? Sure. But I call bullshit on his confidence here. Because if he was so fucking confident, he wouldn't feel the need to put out this video and make threats. I mean, he just wouldn't. No good businessman would do this.
He's 20 years old, and it's time for him to grow. So anyway, I just wanted to be very transparent with you guys. Leaving regardless. Would love to take Carson if Carson's on board. And
he's leaving you assholes regardless, whoever you are. I don't know what company it is, and I don't care. It doesn't matter. But here he is just basically threatening them. I mean, well, I mean, a lot of people have been in jail. I'm not faulting anybody for have been in jail. I know a lot of good people that have been in jail. I'm not going to judge him for that. I'm judging him for his current actions. I'm judging him for what he did with the Kylie Rodney case and his part in it. That's what I'm judging him for.
Don't give him any grief if he decides to leave. Let's all wish him well, and I'm going to continue to mentor him and help him grow. And someday, if he comes over here, he's going to grow, and he's going to fly from my nest as well. And you know what? That's what we do as a team over here. Anyway, on that note, we need to decide how we're going to be wrapping this up because we will not be continuing. So we need to end any future payments, which, by the way, you guys have also continued to overcharge me from what our.
Oh, here we go. Here comes the bullying of money. Here comes, you're going to fucking also pay me for taking Carson. You're going to pay me for it. This is like he's on a roll here. He's on a predatory roll right now.
Our original agreement is. So again, additional breach of contract there. So if there's any, so let's just be very straight on this one. Clean cut. You know, we all learned something from it. Any type of a hiccup or a hassle at all, I'm going after. I'm going after finances on you guys. You know, for what I've lost from my sponsors, I'm going.
Wow. Wow.
After what you guys have overcharged me. I'm going after data breach. Oh, data breach is
okay. So basically taking this Carson guy is just a big fuck you to this company because he feels like he was overcharged. Now, this is what's really funny. This Carson being as egotistical as this guy is, I get that vibe anyway. Being as egotistical as this guy is, doesn't realize that he's being insulted because what he paid this company for was Carson's services. Like, think about that for a second. Here he is saying, I'm taking your most valuable resource. But he's sitting here saying that he was overcharged. He's sitting here saying that they fucked him. And Carson was the one who did the work. Carson was the representative to him of that company. So if Carson had any fucking brains or any self-respect, Carson would be like, well, fuck you, dude. And you know what, Carson? I mean, he's got the means and the talent to start his own thing. He's got the means and the talent to start his own thing. Instead, he'd rather be this guy's whipping post bitch.
It's a tough one for you guys. In addition to that, you know, then of course I'm in a position with, you know, 1 million plus on Facebook, another 1.3 million on YouTube. Is that, you know, when I made the decision to jump to you guys, I look for reviews, you know, and currently at the time, you know, there was one that was kind of iffy. But, you know, had she not come back to you, I would have been like, oh, I'm definitely not going to be using them. So let me just be very straight to you as well. You know, I have your client list. I will make sure that I, you know, let them know that I've left and the reasons why I've chosen to leave. But I also make sure that.
Wow. So he's also threatening to take their entire clientele. He's saying that he has their client list. So if they try to go after him in any way legally for taking Carson, you know, the person who didn't do a good enough job and felt that he was overcharged for his service, now he's threatening to take their client list with Carson.
Sure that I put the reviews out there on Yelp and Google as well as out there.
Oh, and I'm also going to trash you guys on Yelp and Google. I'm going to flood Yelp and Google with bad reviews of your company. Basically, he's just thinking of ways out loud, like with his cocaine tongue running, of how he's going to completely bury this company. What he's doing is jerking off in front of a camera right now. That's what he's doing. He's basically masturbating his ego and saying, and just running his mouth and thinking out loud of how he's going to fuck these people over. And they did nothing to him. I mean, like, this is him just trying to justify and make it about Carson, saying, oh, well, let's let Carson grow. This has nothing to do with Carson. He's a tool. He's literally a tool. I don't mean a tool in the way that I'm saying this guy's a tool, even though I do feel that way about him based on what I saw. But I mean literally a tool in the sense that he's a means to fuck over the company that he feels like they didn't do a good enough job and they overcharged him. That they didn't do a good enough job editing, camera work. Because, you know, it's about the victims and it's not about blowing up your channel. And it's not about revenue on your channel. Right? But he keeps talking about what's best for Carson as if he's some sort of crusader trying to help the kid out. When really he just wants to use him to fuck over that company who he had some sort of problem with. Because if it was really about Carson, it would be like, look, listen, I don't know if you're happy over there or not, but I'm willing to sit down with you and work out some sort of payment, some sort of salary plan with benefit plan, whatever. And then you tell me if that is worth it for you to come over here on our team, which is still poaching, but it happens all the time. Companies do that all the time. But the way that he's doing it, I'm sure companies do it that way all the time too. They don't fucking do it on camera and and put it on the internet. But I'm sure that they do it all the time. It's just shitty to do it that way. Because word gets around. Word gets around that that's the way that you do business. People don't like when people do business that way. It's beyond shrewd. Shrewd is one thing. This is cutthroat. This is fucking somebody over. This is bullying. And I get that. It's capitalism. You know what I mean? I get that. I'm just saying the guy sucks for doing it. I'm not saying capitalism sucks. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying this guy sucks in the way that he does business. And it's not good for business. Because again, I still feel that, see, okay, you got to look at things like this, folks. Here's my way of looking at things. Let's take the two top or at least at one time, the two top marketing fast food companies, right? You had number 2, Domino's at number 2, and you had Chick-fil-A at number 1. Okay? Now, anybody who's ever worked in the service industry understands and knows the trifecta of a successful food industry business. Everyone knows the trifecta. The trifecta is product, service, and image. Okay? That's why when you walk into a place that's just moving, right? You paid a decent price for your food. You got it fast, and it's food that you really, really like. And the place was spotless clean. Everybody was smiling, and everybody had their uniforms tucked in and just looked really clean cut. Chick-fil-A are consistently masters at that. Consistently. You tell me when you've ever gone to a Chick-fil-A and everybody wasn't completely on point. You might have gotten a chicken sandwich where, you know, maybe the oil was a little old. That's happened to me once or twice, but it's still fucking delicious. Everybody's trying to copy the Chick-fil-A sandwich. Have you noticed that? Every fast food place that sells chicken sandwiches is trying to copy Chick-fil-A's chicken sandwich. Just the one that I used to get at the mall when I was a teenager, that was just a bun, 2 pickles, and a piece of chicken. And it was expensive as fuck. But it was so good. Because you didn't need any mayo on it, Cherry. Any other chicken sandwich, I'm dumping mayo all over that shit. But this, as far as image goes, when the CEO of the company acts like that, that's a bad image. Word gets around about that dude. Therefore, word gets around about the company. He's the face of his company, right? Right? I mean, so what is a worse image for AWP than this asshole right here, right now on this video that we're watching?
Don't F with me, don't F with Carson is how it comes down to the end of the day.
Wow.
And I'm just saying, I'm not saying that you guys were going to, or that you had, or that you would. I'm just saying, listen, I've been in business longer than you guys have been alive. And I know startups because I've written some of the same contracts and NDAs, non-solicits and non-competes and whatever else. And, Carson is going to be doing freelance with us, and he is not going to be competing with you.
See, this guy is a smart version of JLR. Okay, that's what he is. He's a more business savvy person than JLR. The problem is that you can't escape, you can't hide being an asshole. It's going to show through your actions. Like, there's just no way that you're ever going to be able to hide being a complete and total fucking douchebag, because it's going to show in your actions no matter what decisions you make to build your company. Either you are a sound businessman who understands that word of mouth is the best advertisement that you could ever have. Word of mouth is without a doubt the best advertisement that a company can have, and that is going to generate really bad word of mouth. And it's not because he's not business savvy. He's obviously business savvy with all of the things that he knows. But he can't escape the one thing that is going to wreck your business eventually, which is wrecking his business as we speak, and that is being a fucking asshole by nature.
Your company by starting one of his own, as well as, check this out, you guys also have a location thing when you go to court over litigations for non-competes, if you guys have documents or anything, but it doesn't cover, you cannot restrict somebody from opening up shop or doing what needs to be done in other locations. So we've all acknowledged that you guys cannot meet my needs for traveling across the entire U.S. and back for locations, which then means that you guys have even less of a leg.
If you guys don't think that he's on cocaine right now, you're out of your mind. If I've ever seen somebody on cocaine, it's this dude right here, right now.
Stand on. If
only a cokehead would talk like that. Only a cokehead would talk like that. And it's usually in a bathroom while they're just blowing down rails with some fucking stranger. And only a cokehead, arrogant asshole would do it on camera and put it out on the internet. I mean, Drunken Lauren, thank you. Had my first CFA in Vegas last week. Delicious. Oh, first Chick-fil-A? Yeah, telling you.
Try to tie Carson's hands. So anyway, that's it. Very transparent. I love having conversations about this. I want to make sure I got it all out, so that's why I put this one-sided
video. Dude, you
video
can even
together.
see the rock in his nose. Hold on.
Long conversation.
I gotta get him to get to the right angle.
However you want, via email, via.
No, okay, never mind. I thought I did. I could have sworn I saw a little rock hanging from his nose, but I didn't. I want to be fair.
To figure out, are you guys finishing those last two? When's Carson's last day going to be? Are we not going to finish the last two with you guys going to be like, you know what? Yeah, let's also give back your last month's pay and just take Carson now and have him finish the two outside of.
Look, this is the kind of conversation. Hold on, I'll just let it finish real quick.
Or hey, we need Carson to finish up with current clients. Whatever, you guys need to figure that out. But in the end, let's make it clean, simple, and we just simply part ways, and we don't make this rough on anybody. It won't be rough on me. At the end of the day, I've got nothing to lose, okay, and everything to gain, and that's where we're at. Appreciate you guys, and you would have some good times along the way. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hold on. Wait a second. I got to see something again.
Appreciate you guys, and you would have some good times along the way. Talk to you later. Bye.
You see what he did with his mouth right there? That's this guy's totally on blow.
Appreciate you guys, and you would have some good.
Hold on. Let's watch that one more time. This guy's so fucking coked out on this video. I don't care what any of you say.
Times along the way. Talk to you later. Bye.
I'm telling you. Hold on, one more time. One more time. You guys know I love to do this.
Along the way.
Right here, right here, right here.
Later. Bye. Times along the way. Talk to you later. Bye.
Jared. Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Yeah. So this is I mean, a guy who is arrogant enough to even like admit to raping a child in an email numerous times, in an email exchange numerous times. This is the kind of arrogance that we're talking about here. Now, this is an interesting video. This is very informative. This is by Stepping Stone Stories. Smaller channel, but pretty informative here.
How did Jared Leisek of Adventures with Purpose and his wife, Kristen Leisek, afford to buy a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house for $1,199,500 on July 19th, 2022? The gorgeous McMansion sits on a 4.75-acre lot in Oregon, overlooking the spectacular panoramic views from Mount Washington all the way to Smith Rock. A new Reddit post points out that Jared has made numerous statements since the start of his Adventures with Purpose channel, proclaiming he was broke when it started in July 2018.
Remember that? Remember that?
First publicly available video on the channel, published July 27, 2018, is named Disc Golf Frisbee Gold Mine Found While Scuba Diving Pond. He claims in a live that they need $5,000 to fund a trip. At the 12:50 mark, he becomes defensive of a commenter who questions Jared's honesty on the amount of donations coming in. In a video from February 20th, 2021, Jared told viewers, "Just type in my name and Google me. I mean, I'm very transparent in my life." A viewer wrote, "Please don't get me wrong. I think that what you do is very incredible and compassionate. I just think that maybe there's a better way to the funds required." Jared got defensive and clapped back at those questioning the earnings of Adventures with Purpose. He claimed they needed to expand their trailer and needed new tires. Jared claimed everything that comes in is 100% appreciated, and we honor this with what it is that we're able to do to go out and help these families. The description of the video reads, "Initial funds needed, $4,800. Current donations, $21,325. A video posted on January 4th, 2022 is titled 2022 It's Snow Time.
Now we just watched this guy. We just watched this guy talk about how he's got more money than the fucking God, you know, so don't fuck with him. And he's got more money than anybody, and he knows exactly what to do with it because he's written all these NDAs and blah blah blah, and he's read on litigation and rah, 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 rah. I've been through litigation. Don't fuck with me. I got more money and I can afford to go through litigation and you can't, and blah blah blah. But here he is bitching about being broke, right?
No time. Jared criticizes trolls who say he is greedy and has $1 million lakefront home. He shows off a house that he says is his same home that he's been living in for 21 years. A mere 6 months later, Jared and his wife bought the $1.2 million home whose description bragged that guests will be in awe of the beautiful sunsets and lights from the valley below. Adventures with purpose seem to be a boon and a blessing, not only for the families of loved ones who finally were given answers, but also a prosperous way for Jared to pay off his debts. On March 19, 2018, there was a $4,882 tax lien placed on Jared's humble home. On the 11th of April 2019, Jared was given a $60,000 mortgage by the Oregon Affordable Housing Assistance Corporation for the house. Like an early Christmas present, on December 23, 2019, the tax lien was paid. On the 7th of May 2021, the original mortgage for Jared's house was paid off. Meanwhile, a few months later, on September 15, 2021, Sam the Adventure Man premiered a video titled, "I Will No Longer Be a Part of Adventures with Purpose." Later, Sam would go on to explain that after volunteering for 2 years with AWP, he asked Jared for a salary. Jared abruptly ended their working relationship and friendship. Back on June 14, 2022, with Jared's old house now mortgage-free, it was moved into the Leisek Family Trust. Jared and his wife are the listed trustees. On July 21, 2022, the new home purchase was filed for his $1.2 million house. The mortgage is for $647,200 with a 7-year adjustable rate mortgage. To date, he has not repaid the OAHAC loan. These facts beg the big questions. How much of the donations that we made to AWP were really used to help find the missing? How much of the money went into Jared's new home? What will happen to AWP as a business now if Jared is convicted of the 2 charges he faces in Utah? Time will tell. Let's quote
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that too, again.
Kyler Ginn, son of Sam the Adventure Man, in his recent live video titled, "Why I Left the Adventures with Purpose Strip, the story I've waited 2 years to tell." Kyler quoted Mark chapter 8, verse 36, and astutely asked, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?"
Okay, so, yeah, we're actually going to go over that video too. Now, I'm pretty sure that Jared can afford a good lawyer. Otherwise, he'd be in handcuffs. He was already charged. He'd be in handcuffs. He'd be behind bars right now, just waiting for his court date. If he didn't have a good lawyer. So yeah, he's got money and he can afford a good lawyer. And I'm pretty certain that now I don't know that much about evidence, but I saw what looked to be proof. Okay. I saw what looked to be proof and an admission to his crime. And if there is no technicality that his attorney can get him off on, then what's going to end up happening? Yeah, he has $100,000. That's his retainer right there. Upchurch paid for his retainer, by the way, guys. Congratulations, Upchurch. Great. So I look forward to seeing what happens, because I do believe that any decent lawyer would come up with a plea deal, and he's just going to plead guilty. He's going to plead out. He probably won't even see any time. He probably won't even see any jail time. So before you guys get all uppity and excited about a trial and all the drama in the trial happening, let's hope that doesn't happen. Would he, if he's found guilty in a trial, is he more likely to end up serving time? Absolutely, sure. But here's the thing is, I'm thinking about the victims, and I don't think that it would be good for them to have to go through a trial and have to relive this traumatic experience all over again. I think that the only way that Jared will actually go to trial is if he insists on it. I don't think his lawyer would recommend it. And I think that if he were to insist on it, it would simply be because, wait a second. Let me address that in a second. I think it would be only because he's a narcissistic, bullying piece of shit, as we just saw, and he would do it to just simply further victimize his victims. That would be the only reason I would think that he would ever insist on going to trial over it. But I have Mystery Maven Esquire in the chat. She is a criminal attorney. She has both experience in prosecution as well as defense. And she is saying here that those charges have mandatory jail time, even if he pleads guilty. Or if found guilty. Yeah, you're not answering that. Mystery Maven, if he pleads out, does it have mandatory jail time? Is that what you mean by that? I'm curious. Because if he's found guilty, then yes, mandatory jail time. I'm pretty sure. But I don't know if I'm curious that if even if he pleads out, if he pleads guilty, will he have to do jail time? I'm very curious about that. Oh, ooh, okay. So so either way, dude's getting locked up. Just depends on for how long. But either way, Jared's getting locked up. If he's found guilty or if he pleads guilty, doesn't matter. Now, if he beats it in court, it's a different story. Right. So they could put lower charges on the table. Yeah, I know that from Law and Order. Yeah, they can make a deal for lower charges if the DA agrees to it. All right. We're gonna move on to, because I posted this in community, but I actually want to watch it again, because I only got about halfway through it and I was psyched, and then I got distracted by something. But and it's only 15 minutes long. This is gonna be a long live, guys. So get comfortable. All right. So this is Sam the Adventures Man's newest video. And I was dying to hear his thoughts on all of this.
Looks like we're live. Give me just a second as I make sure everything's set up properly. As many people know, I'm not the most technologically savvy guy.
You and me both, buddy.
And yeah, with that being said, give me just 1 second. Let me make sure everything's set up properly. All right, real quick. Looks like I got my live stream going. I just want to ask a couple questions. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Yeah, 1,800 peeps. Yeah, that's a lot of people. My phone's doing something here. All right. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Just real quick. Can you guys hear me? Just want to make sure. Yes. You guys can hear me. Okay, real good. So we'll get started. First off, my computer just crashed. Looks like my computer crashed, so we'll just be doing it from here. I've been getting a lot of people, reaching out to me, asking me questions, all types of questions. But I've also had a lot of people reach out to me and apologize. As many of you guys know,
I'm really glad that was like the first thing he acknowledged. That people had made comments apologizing, because he spoke up a year ago and the whole world ostracized this guy. The whole world was like, fuck you. How dare you talk about the great adventures with purpose? How dare you? Everybody just shat all over this guy. So and he's not doing it to gloat. He's just, man, I got a lot of apologies, and so he's going to speak up here and he's going to speak his mind, and he's going to do it in a classy way because he did it before. What's up, SF Investigates? Yeah, so
over a year ago, I stepped away from Adventures with Purpose. It was a very tough time for me. I loved helping the people, but I just hated what was going on behind the scenes. Yeah, with that being said, these things that were brought to light or that have been brought forth this weekend, I didn't know about them until this Saturday, just like many of you guys. I left due to, the way that people were treated in other ways. I left because of the way that I was treated. There's many things.
So he was very, very straightforward a year ago. A lot of questions were, did everybody know this whole time about those accusations against Jared? He's confirming that he did not know until we all knew. So I just want to make note of that.
Things that didn't sit well with me. And just a moment ago, I spoke with Dan. Dan said that he's going to come into the comments. Dan would also like to let the world know that he was unaware also. He's at work and, he's a young fellow and he really doesn't have time at the moment to really be here, and our hearts with you, Dan. Anyway, with that being said, this last year had been extremely hard for me. I experienced a lot of hate from, the mob that came after me, whether it was, through emails and text and messing with my people.
And the dude shut his channel down after the Kylie Rodney fiasco. He shut his channel down. He was like, I'm done. I'm out of here. This guy got so much. Even somebody who was speaking on his behalf fucked him over. Canceled Karen, Critical Cankles. She interviewed this guy without his knowledge. He thought he was just having a friendly conversation because she poured sugar in his ear. And he thought they were just having a friendly conversation, and she recorded him without his knowledge and then released it and took credit for an exclusive interview when it was absolute bullshit. It was completely unethical, completely unfair to him. And he showed up in my chat when I was reviewing it, and he stated clearly in my chat, that live is back up, but he stated in my chat, I did not consent to this interview. She recorded me without my consent. And out of respect for him, and respect for that, respect for him, and in that situation, I took it down. I took my live down when I was going over it. So I felt really, really bad for the guy. And then he took his channel down. He just got off YouTube. He was just like, it's not worth it to me. He could have capitalized. He could have, just kept going but he just wanted peace for him and his family. But he later on messaged me, and I think it was an email, and he was like, that live that you took down? Yeah, you can go ahead and put it back up. I was like, word.
I actually feel, like a big weight has been lifted off of me because I know now I no longer have that pressure.
And for the record, like for those of you thinking, like, can you get him on? I did reach out to him and invite him on. He respectfully declined. And I don't blame him, like, obviously we have two different ways of going about things, and I very much respect his way of going about things. But I'm a lot more harsh. I don't mind calling people names who I think are deserving of them, and it's not his way to do that. This guy seems to be a Christian, seems to be a nice guy, seems to know that my intentions are good, but we have much different methods of going about expressing ourselves. And I very much respect his methods. And so I very much respect his respectful decline to my invitation.
You guys are upset with yourselves. And I'm saying, don't be, because I was fooled too. I was duped as well. I just happened to be closer to the individual. And with that being said, I was able to see it, the character much sooner than you guys were. Yeah, this is a very, very, very quick live stream. For those of you guys who have been, reaching out to me, apologizing, saying that you're sorry. Hey, sorry, Sam, we doubted you. Hey, we treated you bad. Or we crucified you. I just want to say, hey, we're cool. You guys didn't know. You guys are forgiven. It's water under the bridge. It's fine.
What a cool guy.
The biggest issue at this moment, or rather where I'd like to deflect the attention to, is to the survivors that have come forward and may continue to come forward. I encourage you to come forward if you haven't already. You have many people that are supporting you and that you don't know about. We stand with victims. We stand with the survivors. Rather, I prefer to call them survivors. And me, I do not condone violence. I do not condone.
See, what a dope move, man. See, I haven't even been referring to them as survivors, and I kind of feel like a dick for it because it's absolutely fitting. It's absolutely fitting.
Say the R word to everyone. I don't condone rape, sexual assault, none of that. I am not under contract of any shape or kind whatsoever. I mean, this is all me. This channel belongs to me.
There you go.
I'm not answering to anybody.
There you go.
I do not, under any circumstances, condone sexual assault of any kind. That doesn't happen here. It doesn't fly. I'm really upset about it, to be honest with you.
I can tell. Man.
I'm upset about the whole thing. Just to have been, that close.
So much respect to that
Central
guy,
High School. How may I help you?
I'm calling to help you, actually.
To the character, and then getting to know him. I found Jared Leisek to be repulsive. That absolutely repulsive. I didn't know how deep it was or what it was, because we never had that conversation. We weren't just out there driving, and I wasn't like, hey, Jared, do you like kids? That didn't happen. Tell me about your shady past. That didn't happen. I was unaware of these things. I left because of what I had saw and seen on my trips, happening in the interactions there. My understanding from what I've done, or the homework that I've done, is this stuff started to come out last February. I left at the end of summer, so I was far removed from this. Had I known anything of this kind, I would have left immediately. And with that being said, I just wanted to let you guys know, a lot of people are looking at me, Sam, is this why you left? No, this isn't why I left. But had I known, I would have gotten out much sooner, and the fireworks would have been much bigger.
Yeah, see, no.
With that being said,
basically what he's saying right now is he left because of the behavior that we saw in the first video that we went through. That's why he left. That kind of behavior. Just him being a general douche piece of shit. That's what he's basically saying, that's why he left. He didn't even know.
He said, I want you guys to know that I wasn't the first person to leave. This is a story that you guys don't know. Actually, my son, Kyler, he came out on a trip with us. And during that time, he was just so, I don't know, you can come in here. I'll introduce you real quick. I'm going to let him tell his story. We're actually going to go and he's going to tell his story. I'm going to wrap up my piece. He's going to tell his story over on his channel. So mods, if you're here, go ahead and drop the link. This is a separate thing, and I just want Kyler to make sure that he feels comfortable on his own channel where he can talk and he can be freely or speak freely, because there's a lot of things where he was like, Dad, I don't know if I can say that on your channel. But we're going to go over to his channel. He's going to speak his piece. He's going to speak his mind, because he actually left during a trip. He was the canary in the coal mine.
He's like, I got words, Dad, but I don't think you want me saying those things on your channel. Hence why he's declining on coming on to mine. But somebody in chat said that his son might do it. So if he does, he's more than welcome. I'm more than welcome to help him spread his voice and opinions on this matter. He has absolutely earned it.
We were on a trip and he left. He said, and I'm gonna let him tell his story. And that really just was a rude awakening. I don't even rude awakening. It was an awakening for me.
I don't have the link to his son's channel.
Like, oh, Sam, you were the one that that called it out first. Actually, it was Kyler, and then Kyler. Just me and him, we talked about it. I was already losing interest with Jared and with the product, or with AWP due to Jared. I loved helping the people, so I was always torn. I wanted to help people, but I just couldn't promote this guy anymore. As many of you guys know, I've said that I have over like 40 episodes worth of content from my trips on Adventures with Purpose. I never made those videos because I didn't want to promote this individual. I seen his character, I saw who he was, and for my morals and things that are coming out now, not meaning the rape
Indictment.
I didn't know about that, but other things you guys are learning about him, from different channels and different people that have spoken and came forward. Anyway, so guys, this is my son.
Okay, that's the link.
I had no idea about these things that have come.
That's the link to Sam's channel. I'm gonna run and grab the link to his sons.
Forward, and to the survivors, we stand with you. We stand with you. We stand with you in a big way. And if you guys have been affected, be it.
With the American Airlines Advantage program, everyday spend doesn't just earn you flights, but can also earn status. Travel is better when you're an Advantage member.
Listen, folks, if we lose in Georgia, we could lose Senate control. And there's simply too much at stake for our children.
Oh, shut up.
This huge and egregious or small, come forward, speak your piece, speak your mind, just get it off your heart. And, and thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting, the survivors. Thank you for supporting the fellow channels. A lot of channels have spoken and came forward. These a lot of these channels are separate entities. I want you guys to understand that AWP, YouTube is a form of social media. In the happenstance of AWP, it was owned and ran by Jared. So when people say AWP, they mean Jared. I wasn't around Doug enough to really get to know him on a deep level. I wasn't around Carson enough, or Josh, or Nick for that matter. So I can't really speak on those guys. I can only speak on what I know and what I experienced. And my experience was the dude was effed up in a big way. Yeah, in a big way.
So
anyway.
Cherry just dropped the link for Kyler's channel. We're actually going to watch. We're going to go over that live after this one.
So, yeah, it was everything that I spoken about before in my previous video. The truth about Adventures with Purpose is back up. I took it down because I was getting first off, I was getting hassled, but then my people started getting hassled, meaning my family members. And I was just like, hey, YouTube's not worth, my family members and my loved ones losing sleep at night. I do want to say thank you to my family, for the encouragement. Thank you to Kyler.
Thank you. What's popping?
To Kevin Nomot. Thank you to Brock the Rock. Thank you to Anthony. Thank you to you, a lot of you guys, for encouraging me, and a special thanks to my girlfriend Renee. Thank you for being there for me and encouraging me along the way. Yeah. And now that this vicious, ugly mob is out of the way, or has been exposed, I'm dancing free. Amen to that. And my channel is gonna. I'm still kind of in working on some personal issues, a lot of health issues and different things. As you guys know, I busted my shoulder, but I do have some things coming down the pipeline. I plan on linking up with a known editor this summer possibly, and we have some things that we're going to be doing. If not, if that doesn't work out, that's other things. So things will be coming.
Bizarro Carson
on the pipeline on this channel. Thank you guys. A lot of you guys have became a member. I greatly appreciate that. A lot of you guys have donated right now. I greatly appreciate that. But if we could,
the anti-Carson is who he's going to get. I hope.
I'm a grown man, and I was a grown man when I agreed to
welcome.
Go
what's popping?
And the things that I experienced. Let's wrap our arms around those who were young, and all these people, who had these egregious acts happen to them, which shaped their lives, their perception, everything.
Shut up, Billy. We know that's Billy.
No, understandably so, and you have every right to be
just
upset.
saying, I'm a father.
I can vouch as a father. He's a good one too. So
I'm working on it. And anyway, on that note, this live stream is pretty much over. That's all I have to say. In a nutshell, all you guys that have apologized, I accept. It's not about me right now. We need to shift the focus and give other people a safe place where they can speak. Did I know? Absolutely not.
What are you talking about, goth girl?
This last year, yeah.
Doug's so real. He's real, because he's gonna keep going because he's real.
It was hard. It was depressing. I did lose a lot of friends. I lost a lot of money. As you guys know,
Hershey's milk chocolate with
Hershey's
whole almonds.
milk chocolate.
It's mostly a smooth ride.
Now that I've been through the ringer. And again, Dan also says that he did not know. I believe he's in the comments. So if you guys are, curious and, web super sleuths, I'm sure you can, go through the comments and see where Dan has said something. And Dan, if you post something on
comment section.
Yeah, the comment section after this video, I'll make sure to pin it. Yeah. I'll pin your statement. And other than that, like I said, I do not condone violence in any way, shape, or form, especially sexual violence in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not concerned about saying it. You know, if I get demonetized for this video, that's whatever.
Brock would also like people to know he didn't know. Brock the Rock also like people know he didn't know about it.
Okay. Yeah, Brock would also like to let people know. Call in real quick. Maybe you can call in on Kyler's live. If you don't, no worries. But yeah, Brock the Rock says that he didn't know anything about it. I can vouch for these guys, good dudes. Anyway, guys, thank you for being here. Let's, as a community, wrap our arms around those who are coming forward. Give them strength. Pray for one another. Keep your children safe. Follow your gut. I followed my gut.
Appreciate it, Brian Mack.
My son,
Thank you.
Punched me in the gut with what he saw. I was desensitized, and I'll admit that I was desensitized. With the things, the camera stuff. I started to become desensitized, and plus, when he came is when things got really bad. Around that time, big money was coming in, so things got really, really bad. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump over to Kyler's channel. So if you want to go ahead and start your live, and it's Kyler Ginn. So we're gonna go ahead and finish that. Kyler say his piece over on his channel if you guys are interested in following that. And again, we're separating the two because he has some things to say, and he doesn't want to be responsible for if he. And I respect it. So.
Yeah, I don't want I'm not really gonna bite my tongue a lot, and I don't want your channel to be so respectful. But
yeah. And big shout out to all these channels who are speaking truth.
Yeah.
And sticking up for the weak ones.
Exactly.
Thank you. I've seen so many channels that are a voice to the voiceless. I just want to personally thank you. And as far as the big opportunity the big hole that is left. There is a void to be filled, and there's a lot of teams out there right now that are going to be stepping forward, and there's a lot of work to still be done to help families. So anyway, on that note, I'm done talking. I'm going to hit the X button over here, and then we're going to follow up on Kyler. Like again, the reason we're doing this is because Kyler wants to make sure that he's saying his thing as an individual and as a man, and I respect that. Anyway, guys, thanks again.
Thank you to everybody.
I love you guys.
All right.
But the big hole that is left, there is a void to be filled, and there's a lot of teams out there right now that are going to be stepping forward, and there's a lot of work to still be done to help families. So anyway, on that note, I'm done talking. I'm going to hit the X button over here, and then we're going to follow up on Kyler. And again, the reason we're doing this is because Kyler wants to make sure that he's saying his thing as an individual and as a man, and I respect that. Anyway, guys, thanks again.
Thank you to everybody.
Love you guys. Don't rape children.
Yeah, never that.
Or anybody for that matter.
No cap.
I don't even remember how to turn this thing off. X.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't be a rapist piece of shit.
Over on your thing. All right, to everyone joining us, thank you. I appreciate you. We're just going to switch the phone and move it.
For those of you guys who don't know, this is Sam the Adventure Man's son, Kyler Ginn. Cherry's been dropping his channel in the chat.
Okay, looks like you're on, and you have your platform. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, you can come sit.
Let me sit. Where would you like me to sit?
Just sit with me.
I'll just sit with you.
I'm going to reference you at times, so both of you. All right. So I just want to say that the story I'm about to tell you guys, and just kind of this thing, I mean, this is one of, even before all this drama came out, this was one of the most impactful and probably biggest things to have happened to me in my adult life. And this has really affected something I love, which is YouTube. And honestly made, up until you left, it made me not even really want to do YouTube, even though I liked it. And so this is a big thing, and I feel like the time has come to get some things off my chest, get this weight off my shoulders. So I'm gonna tell you.
It's as loud as it can go. Sorry.
And yeah, we'll just go with that.
I guess his mic isn't as good. That's all.
So I don't remember when you first told me about AWP. I don't remember any of that. So I knew he'd been doing YouTube. You made a few videos, and there were some fun things that we've done.
Oh, no problem. What's popping?
I
don't know about all that, but I appreciate it.
Views.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
They're watching the number come up. I remember it. We were sitting there with my brother and sister, and we were so excited.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
So that was kind of my introduction to YouTube. He was doing it. So being as he's my dad, I always thought I think he's cool. So at that age, especially, like some of the things he thought was cool would be cool to me. So when he told me about, Adventures with Purpose, and he's like, yeah, we're out doing all these good things and helping people, I thought it sounded awesome. Like I thought,
people are saying turn it up so if you can project your voice.
Ahim.
Or here, I'll move. Also, I'll move the camera a little closer so we have not be soft spoken on this one. So you can just put it in as a phone falls. Turn it off. What do I do? All right, guys, we're just a little technical difficulties. Let me adjust this real quick, and we're going to bring it in a little closer. Yeah, so Kyle, you're going to have to kind of project your voice towards it.
Okay, tell me if you can hear me. Let me know if it's any better. Let me know if the audio is doing any better.
I mean, it wasn't that bad
Let me know
before.
if the volume's still low.
volume,
It's
low
about the
volume.
same, but I can
Volume
hear it
low
fine.
audio. Volume is good for me. Audio is not good at all. Louder. I can scream it. Let's see. I don't. Hard to hear. What do you think are?
I think you should maybe you can try taking it out of the case.
Yeah, I don't think people are saying volume is fine, and then some.
All right, well,
I'll just hold it right here.
Yeah, just hold it.
I'll hold it. This doesn't have to be.
No.
Okay, if you guys can hear me, just let me know. Too low. Audio was fine. Some people are saying it's fine. Some people are saying it's bad.
Audio issues.
I can hear him good.
Okay, so now it's hearing.
I can hear. Okay.
So we're good now.
Okay, well, I'll just put it. I don't know what the angle, but we can just put it right here. All right. If you can hear me, cool. And if you can't hear me, I don't know.
You're at a loss.
I'm at a loss. Half the people are saying it's good.
Do you have headphones?
No, I don't. Audio low. Some people are saying it's good. Some are saying it's bad.
Audio is low. All right, I'm just gonna. You guys excuse me for a second. I'm just gonna hijack this for a second. See if I can make some adjustments. Yeah, just go ahead and take a look.
Hey, can you guys hear me at all?
All right, how about now, guys? Can you guys hear now?
This is terrible.
Swamp Donkey says much better.
Okay, much better.
Thank you. Volume.
Better. Okay.
Yeah, it's better. So just go ahead and go with what you have.
Okay. Okay.
This is still going on.
Joining
'Cause
AWP. Man, as if this wasn't a hard enough thing.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. Because I got up to pee while they did that. Figured that out.
So I wanted to join AWP and go with you guys because I thought it sounded like a fun thing.
Yeah.
And I never really traveled that
Much
far.
better. It's good.
Okay.
Now.
Anyways, so I go and I meet up with you in Nashville. And so I, on purpose, what? So I, on purpose, did not watch Adventures with Purpose videos before going there because I didn't want to know these guys, meaning, Dan and Jared, as being YouTubers. I just wanted to meet them.
Yeah, you don't have preconceived notions.
I didn't want any preconceived notions because I honestly wasn't really that into true crime videos. And then two, I just really wanted to meet them. So I didn't really have much.
Smart kid.
Whatever. So I meet everybody. Everybody seems kind of decent, at first. It's just, whatever. So there's one day, I don't remember. It was like a couple days into the trip where, also I'm going to say all this stuff I'm saying is alleged and my opinion for legal reasons.
You're saying that for legal reasons.
For legal reasons. Everything I'm saying is the way I remember it.
Yeah, the volume's good, so I think we can put it back.
Okay, put it back.
Yeah, volume's good. We're going to put this back real quick while you're talking. And I think you have the screen as much. Just make sure you project this.
Smart kid.
Okay. Anyways, so a couple of days into the trip, so I've been kind of getting to know everybody a little. And I remember Jared was in like I said, this is all my opinion, but Jared was in the front seat and he was driving. So I decided I was going to go up and talk to him and pick his brain a little bit because he was an interesting person to me. Like, why wouldn't he be? He has a YouTube channel. He has all this stuff. So I go and I start to talk to him. And one question in particular, and what I remember asking was, I asked him why he got into YouTube. And now most people, when they get into YouTube, they say, oh, it's because I like something, or, oh, it's because I was doing something already and thought it'd be fun to share it with the audience. But he told me that he got into it for money. And I was like, what? He was like, well, I knew it was profitable. And so for me, that was kind of a weird thing, but I didn't think too much about it. I was kind of like it's a little, whatever, but that's not that big of a deal.
I'll start the ass kissing with Zav Girl and just move on from the left. Okay.
So that was kind of the first red flag.
I hate to say I told you so right now.
And then the second red flag was hearing how he spoke about his fans and the nature he spoke about his fans and the some of the other, I'm not going to mention any names, but other people that were coming out to help us. He was really speaking about them as if they weren't humans or people. And I recall him saying, he said it in a joking tone, but it didn't come off as a joke to me. He said that if people didn't give his money to him, they would just be wasting it anyways.
Oh, she's the biggest coward.
And that was
she's the biggest coward. Like I was in her chat and she was pretending like she couldn't see me in the chat. I I told her I wanted a link. She was like, "Yeah, I'll have you up here, but I just can't figure out how to, I don't want a whole bunch of people coming up here if I no, like if I specifically want somebody to come up on my panel, I'll drop the link in the chat and I'll just let the one person that I invited up. It's real easy. If I could avoid it, if I could just do an email, but after like 5 minutes of her putting on this bullshit act, like she was willing to have me up there, uh, yeah, she ended the live. It was the most cowardly shit I've ever seen, that I've ever experienced.
And that was something he just said. And I think the other people might have heard that and thought it was kind of a joke, but that kind of stuck with me because I was like, well, that's, not whatever, but whatever. And then, so it was kind of on my mind a little bit. And then I have a vivid memory, this is my memory of it, of us. We had, I'm not going to say the case, we've been working a case, and two little old ladies came up to us. And they asked Jared, they're like, hey, do you have money for gas? And these ladies, I don't like to judge anyone.
Here's Zav Girl watching this video. Ready?
Appearance solely, but these old ladies appear to be modest in nature, very modest. Some would even, they did not look like they were well-to-do. And he said, yes, we need gas money. And he, they handed him $50. And I also want to know, at this point, he had bragged to me a little about some of the money he was making. So I was already, it was like a red flag. So he takes the $50 or whatever that they give him, and he goes and he stuffs it in the door of the RV, the pocket, and it has the most loose money I'd ever seen in my life. Like thousands of dollars. I'd never seen that much loose money. So at that point, my alarm's starting to go off, but I'm just really, so that was, I think, the night before.
This guy fucking sucks, dude.
So then the last day, we're working a case, and this case is a very, I'm not going to say the case, I don't want to say any names. If they ever want to speak about things, they can. But this case allegedly involved some of the most horrific things you could ever think of happening to a person.
Cult stuff.
It was cult stuff.
Cult related.
And like involving rituals and like
sacrifice.
Yeah, just the worst stuff you could ever think of. And we are told the story. We are shown pictures to back up the claim. So immediately, I'm just like,
you're in a bad spot.
We're in a bad spot.
Not comfortable with that.
I'm not comfortable with that, but it was like, to me, take the cult stuff and all that stuff away, because I've never experienced that. But to me, part of the thing is I have experienced death in my life. I have, as many people have, I've experienced, family members. I've experienced friends that,
You've had a lot of close friends.
I've had close friends pass away. So I don't take it lightly. And to me, handling people that are grieving and dealing with death is a very like sacred kind of intimate thing. So to me, it was like, then to hear how
it's sacred too. I mean, there's just a certain respect that has to stay sacred.
It was, to me, this is like, oh my gosh, this is the most sacred situation possible. So we're out on the case, and I remember we're out looking for the person, and we go to a spot where we're looking, and it clearly, anybody who had been working the case would know there's no chance of the person being here. But they were, filming and whatever. And I asked about it, and I was told that it was for show. Like, we have a show to make.
Wow.
I was like, why are we here? And I was told, oh, well, we have a show to make. And immediately I got sick to my stomach.
Yeah, I actually would sometimes say, so Jared, is this a show day or a actual search day? What are we doing today?
Wow. Interesting, folks. Interesting. Because, it's about bringing the victims closure. Right. And it's about respecting the victims and their loved ones. Right. But, they're out there just making a show, and they literally called it a show.
That's a real thing.
And to me, though, being told that when I'm over here with my whole heart into what we're doing made me just want to puke. Like, honestly. So then that night,
because these people, this is not a show for them at all.
No,
this is real life.
No.
Right.
Real life.
No, it was never told to people I saw. They were never told that that there was places being searched just because it was good content. Interesting. So I was absolutely, sick about that. So I remember that night. So at this point, I'm already sick. So we go back, and it's an older elderly couple, and we go and tell them that we were unable to find their son, and that
CR. Thank you so much for that very technical observation. I bet AWP needs a sound engineer. I bet they're hiring for that right now.
Have to I don't remember if we're gonna try again or something. I don't know. It was something. I was there and I was told it's hard for me to even talk about, but the old man was crying and I didn't film. I did not want to go because I was helping filming. I did not want to go up close to him, and I turned the camera away because he was crying, and I didn't want anything to do with it. And then I got accosted for missing what was called the money shot.
Wow.
And at that point, I just ended up storming out because
wow.
I like, to me, seeing this couple who's the last, I think, 30 years of their life had been affected or something like that by this crying and then wanting this camera shoved in their face, it just made me sick. Like I couldn't handle it. So I go out and, my dad, he notices.
Wow.
And we go out.
So this kid actually had a conscience, for not doing what this channel and a couple others have called out AWP for when they approached Kylie's father and Kylie's grandfather. For actually having some convictions, this young man, this very respectable young man, having some convictions and having some tact and having some self-respect and having some scruples, having some morals, and refusing to stick a camera in a grieving family member's face, he got accosted for it by the rest of AWP, except, of course, his own father. He got accosted for it. He got criticized for it. Wow. Goth Girl, thank you so much. Thank you, Glara, for always keeping it real. Thank you for being here.
And I tell him exactly how I feel about everything that's been going on. And I'm, crying and yelling at him. And we had a falling out, but
we got into it, and also some things that had to do with me personally between he and I came up, which ended up being a good thing because we were able to discuss things.
Oh, so Dad actually did kind of get mad at him. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's fair to put out. But yeah, so we had a falling out over this, and I left. I was in. I'm gonna say where I was. I might give things away, but I was in the middle of Kansas. I called a taxi. Middle of Kansas. No, I don't know where I am. Like, and that made also all the other stuff crazier. But,
yeah. So you were 20, right?
Yeah.
All right. So imagine this: a broke 20-year-old in the middle of Kansas on this.
So look at this. I find this very, very revealing about their character, because they didn't have to say that they had a falling out over it. They didn't have to reveal that. They didn't have to say that, we got into it, over the situation when I got criticized for not getting the money shot, as it were. They're being incredibly transparent here. And I think that takes a lot of guts for this father and son to sit there and say, we got into it real bad over it, and some other stuff was involved that we got into it about between us, as fathers and sons do.
Sold to be this awesome trip. Hey, let's go across the country, see all these things. Broke 20-year-old says, "Screw it, Dad. I am buying my own taxi, getting my own hotel, getting my own fare and airfare, and I'm leaving tomorrow." This was who he is and where he was.
No, because he kept saying, "Oh, we'll just stay tonight. We can drop you off or something." I'm like, "No, I'm done."
Yeah, he was done. It was no hangout. Well, hey, Kyle, you just hang out with.
Can't blame him one bit.
I want to be gone from this as soon as possible, and he left in a taxi cab. And then I was, even though he and I got into it over some things, that was a very proud dad moment.
Yeah,
in a big way. Even though we had our little moment.
Right on. Yeah, totally.
I want to be like him.
Well, eventually you kind of
totally.
Were, anyway, so I left. I've told people it was funny to me that one of the worst nights of my life was in Kansas. Like as someone who'd never even been there, that was just ironic. But yeah. So anyways, I leave. I go.
I spent a week there one night.
I fly home. Whatever. Me and you, we don't really talk much for a little while.
Yeah, for a couple months.
For a couple months, which for us, that's a long time.
Wow.
I mean, at this point, we talk on the phone almost every day. But I mean, even then, that's a long time. So at this point, I leave, and then fast forward a little bit, you leave, and that was on. I was so relieved when he left. I felt like a weight in our relationship had been lifted because I just saw you out there with who at this point, I haven't even gone into detail on some things because I don't think it's whatever, but at this point, I had thought Jared was already the most evil person I met. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that had to do with how he was selling himself as a poor person and taking advantage of people. And I was able to do some math and just knew it wasn't accurate.
Yeah, like by the fucking just loose thousands of dollars that was just there. And he refused to give somebody who just needed some gas money. It would have been nothing to him. And I understand some people. Like, I understand that there's people like just out of principle. I'm not giving these people gas money because they, they're responsible for themselves or blah, blah, blah. Or maybe they're going to spend it on drugs and it's just a scam. But dude, I mean, I've come to realize that if I have money in my pocket that I can spare and somebody asks me, I'm not going to judge them. I'm just going to give it to them because at that point, that's between them and God or the universe for lying about it. And it's between me and God and the universe for that kind gesture. You know what I mean? So, it's none of my business. If I got it, why not? I fall on hard times and there are people that are there for me. And, it would just be a shitty thing to not do. Or a shitty thing to do if you don't do it. It's just, especially if you're telling people publicly that you're broke and you need money for a new tire. You need money for a new whatever the fuck they needed money for that he claimed. And he refused somebody gas money when he has all this loose money just laying there. Like, unreal.
Weird. Anyway, so I was really happy when you left. I actually ghost wrote part of when you were talking to Jared because I remember when the things happened between him and Jared, he really just was done with the situation. You were upset.
I was pissed.
He was super mad.
You actually said that, hey, Dad. Because first off, I thought that why did I stay around so long? I actually thought that I could like steer the ship.
Yes,
I didn't saying that. I didn't know that Jared was this bad of a dude. And so my first check was, all right, well I'm just gonna see if he even respects me, and by talking in terms of money because that's what he understands. And if I know that I have his respect, then during the trip I'll come forward and I'll talk to him about everything else that's going on, talk about my heart. I was really hoping.
Yeah, Christina, you misspelled your handle. Just you've been giving me all this constructive criticism this whole time. But you misspelled your handle. I'm going to need you to go back and change it. It's Karen. Okay. One more time. Karen. All right, Christina. All right. You're welcome.
Hoping that I would be able to open up to the guy and really steer this thing, in a better way. And things weren't that bad at first. They kept getting nastier and nastier. He came in a nasty moment.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I thought I could steer the ship, but in the end, no, I couldn't. There was because Jared very much presented all Sam, this is me and you, man.
I actually, I don't know if you remember, but he was ready to just dip. I told him to check. I was like, you should text him and see if he even respects you.
Yeah, no, I had originally sent him an FU text.
Yeah, you sent it. You typed it. You sent it to me.
I typed it because Kyler at this point we were kind of talking back and forth. We were open about our experience with AWP. And so I said, hey Kyler, this is what I'm going to be sending to Jared. And then Kyler was like, wait, maybe you should try to talk to him. See.
Yeah, because I honestly, this is my thought. If Dad sent Jared an FU text, I thought, one, you would look like a bad guy and give him some whatever. And I actually thought, I knew Jared was going to tell you to screw off. I, in my heart felt that, but I thought you needed to know that.
All right, cool.
I thought that you needed to see what kind of person he was. So I kind of ghost wrote a nice little whatever text, and it was about, just wanting his respect and some of the stuff. And you were told to screw off. So that happens. Are you going through looking for it?
Yeah, actually, I found the text that after he did tell me to screw off, I did send the text. And I said, honestly, over time, I felt like you haven't valued me, my well-being, or respected my thoughts or options. You or opinions rather. Let me back that up. Slow my reading. Honestly, over time, I felt like you haven't valued me, my well-being, or respected my thoughts or opinions. You kind of have a King Jared mentality. You seem to look down on others, whether they are female, minority, poor, or anything other than you. Even an ignorant coal miner, as you have referred to blank, I'm not going to mention the person's name. I can only imagine what you say about me when I'm not there. You tell half-truths to your wife. If you are not honest with your mate, you won't be honest with me. I love helping the families and doing good in the world, but I was doing that long before YouTube and long before recognition. You do good because it's marketable. Valor seems to mean nothing to you. After 2 years of hanging out with you, I've grown to dislike you. So I did. I toned it down a little bit.
He was super classy. Now, Mr. Savvy professional businessman who tries to sound savvy and professional in business. Again, you can't hide being an asshole. And this guy, after he was told to fuck off, right? He still kept it classy and still managed to let him know exactly what he thought of him without being insulting, because it's only really insulting if it's a lie, if it's not true. He didn't say anything that was untrue about Jared in that text. He was just like, this is what I think of you, man. You know? And he wasn't fake. Like, you know, people do this thing, man. It's so annoying when they do it. Like they send a text like that and then they always close it with, have a great day. Oh, like you phony asshole. Whenever I get stupid fucking comments like that from Karens that go, blah, 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 blah. Have a great day. You know, like, I don't mind being like, fuck you to them. You know what I mean? I don't mind being like, you're fucking stupid, you know, because you're being phony as fuck. You know, just say what's on your mind. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Have a blessed day. I love to have a blessed day. That's always, yeah. They always do that. Most of the time, like, I'll just skip down to it. Does this thing close to, yeah. Like, I'll just be like, have a great day. Okay, I'm not reading that. 90% of the time, that's what I do. Like, I'm probably not even going to read your text. I'm just going to skip down to it to see if you close with that cliche bullshit. And I'm not even going to read your fucking little essay that you wrote in a comment section.
Did end up sending him the text after I didn't have the initial handshake saying, hey man, let's see if we can work something out. My thought was we'd be able to work something out. And then on that trip, I'd have 40 plus days to work on him and talk to him and say, hey man, and I thought I could steer the ship into a positive direction. But boy, was I wrong.
And I honestly thought I think you had been blinded by, I don't know how many months of knowing the guy. Mm-hmm. I just came in and kind of saw how he was at that moment when I came in.
Yeah. So I was starting to
get lulled to sleep by it.
Yeah, being a little desensitized, and I'll admit to that. I certainly was a little desensitized. There were certain things I would not have crossed, and things were starting to swell up in my gut, and I could just feel that gut feeling, saying get away. And then Kyler got away, and then it was like, yeah, I definitely need to get away. And then finally I did.
And I wanted to speak slightly to me getting away. This was something like that when I thought about it, sounded amazing because one, I like scuba diving. That's like some of my passion. If I could do that professionally somehow, whether that's for YouTube or something, that'd be a dream of mine. It involves helping people. It was just, there were so many things about this that sounded amazing to me. And I just was like, I couldn't overlook how he was and how things were going. So it wasn't an easy, it was easy, but it wasn't like something I wanted to do. Like, it was like, I have to. That's why I just left the way I did, because it was like, I have to leave.
Just pull off the Band-Aid and leave.
Yeah.
Right. So, I'm selling my soul here. Because here's this kid, 20 years old, and he's just fantasizing about doing what Adventures with Purpose claims to do, appears to do, to a naive 20-year-old kid who wants to believe the best in people. This is what he does, and he shows up, and then he sees, and he's got all these questions. Like, he's sitting there fantasizing about, man, I could scuba dive, and I can help people. And people in the worst imaginable situation. I can help them. And he's like, he gets there, and instead of even lying to himself, instead of lying to himself and being like, oh, well, maybe he's just having a bad day, and just starts making excuses for Jared, immediately he gets a bad vibe. And he's listening to his heart the entire time that he's there, and just observing all of this relentless, shitty behavior coming from Jared, and then gets to a point to where his soul will not allow him to continue doing what he's doing. He says that he's literally sick to his stomach being around this guy. Welcome, Becky G.
I will say there have been people that have, over this process, harassed me. I've had people call me names. I've had people harass me and call my dad names. Most of those comments just end up getting deleted, but they're there. And I am honestly so relieved that that is seemingly, at least involving that situation, is behind us. There's always gonna be people that hate and troll, but I will say the hardest moment for me to stay quiet in all this was when you left and he was trashing you on the
Becky G gifted 5 memberships. Thank you for that, Becky G.
That big trash your father, who is not any of the things he was saying, and really wasn't active as he could have been with YouTube at that time, just because he wanted to spend time with me and my brother and sister. That made me so angry. And then the fact that I couldn't say anything without just looking like I was. So the big thing in the text or his post was he attacked me as an entrepreneur. Yeah, it was an entrepreneur.
What?
It was all about money. And for him, maybe it was. It certainly seems that way. Yeah, so that was really hard. It was really hard.
I think it's pretty obvious that it is that way. It is that way. Congratulations, Karen. Christina, you're gifted a membership. Sean Pellegrino, Cherry got one. I don't know who else did though. Hold on, let me go through that. It doesn't show on my StreamYard. The Philanthropist, ironically, got gifted a membership. And Goth Girl got gifted a membership. So welcome, all of you.
Stay quiet then, and then it's been, as I've had this YouTube channel for over a year, it's been hard for me not to say things because I'm watching who I, in my heart of hearts, before even knowing these allegations, thought was one of the most evil human beings I'd ever encountered, be praised as a hero and lauded. And I would get sad when somebody would come over and say something about AWP or something, because I'm like, oh, they're still kind of in the.
But plus, he was in some AWP videos.
Yes, I was.
Oh man, have you ever even seen the AWP videos you were in?
I have not watched the AWP videos. I have had
because the Philanthropist that but you got the membership. You didn't. It's Philanthropist. You get it.
So after I left AWP, I had friends reach out to me because they saw the videos I was in. I had never seen them. I didn't have a desire to watch them. To me, that was a chapter of my life I didn't want to relive through video. So, yeah. So, but my point I was getting at was, I am just happy that chapter of having to deal with not being able to defend you the way I wanted to is now over. Yeah. To not speak out and say something is over. I'm glad that everyone right now is getting their chance to talk, and I hope that more people come forward and, any victims of Jared come forward. Whether it's survivors, whether it's the people he's molested or the people he took advantage of, allegedly molested, or whatever saying that, or the people he allegedly took advantage of that I witnessed. I hope they come forward. I hope they come forward.
Oh man, I love this kid.
This is someone who has been, in my opinion, a menace to society, as a whole. He's affected people on every level of, he's affected grandparents, he's affected little kids, apparently. He's affected, this is. So I hope that there will be some justice served, and that people that have been struggling with this are able to find some peace. And I pray for all the.
I'm sorry, Karen 819. Is the Karen thing getting old? I'm sorry.
The people that have been negative, all the people outside of him that have been negatively affected by the situation. So yeah, I don't really have too much more to say. There's other stories, other things I get into, but you guys.
So can I ask you?
Yeah, you can ask me some questions.
Because I know, just to clear things up, did you know or have any pre-knowledge of the things that were brought forth in these indictment charges or this indictment. Did you know about it?
No, I did not. And if I had, you would have seen a video on Kyler Ginn's channel titled something I can't even say here, but it would have been.
Yeah, it's your channel, so I can't say it either.
No, we've been calling him some names, which I honestly there's okay. I don't like call people names, but once you get to the level that he allegedly has gotten to, the gloves are off. You can just.
Holy shit, your name's really Karen.
No, I did not know about anything. I knew about other stuff, but to me, I knew that with my limited platform, and if I came forward with it.
All right. Karen 819. Let me explain why. Yeah, you 1.5 million people named Karen. The reason why is because there's so many people named Karen, and it's such a common name that it's I'll explain to you the humor behind the Karen thing that you feel is getting old. There's so many people out there that are quick to ask for the manager and get a very typical soccer mom haircut, and Karen is just a very typical soccer mom name. Who would be likely to complain in a restaurant and ask for the manager. That's why they're called Karens. It's a play on the name and the behavior. That's the whole point, that there's 1.5 million people named Karen, just so you know. Okay. And if you it's not going to change. I'm sorry, Karen, but it's not going to change. It's not Rhonda. Unfortunately, Karen, the name Karen got picked out of a hat. It snowballed. It became what it is, and it's not going to go away. I'm sorry. Maybe it could have been Rhonda, but it didn't end up being Rhonda. It just ended up being Karen, even though Rhonda would have been just as effective to make the same joke and make the same point. Unfortunately, it just didn't land on Rhonda. It landed on Karen. So, yeah. But if you have any more complaints about it, I'm sure that there is a complaint box where you can write YouTube, or maybe set up some sort of forum about how tired you are of the whole Karen thing. Maybe people will listen. Maybe a manager will change the policy on that. The manager of what jokes are, the manager of jokes might be able to help you with that. And I wish you the best of luck on your endeavors. Have a blessed day. No, I'm just kidding.
Forward with this other stuff, it just wouldn't even. I felt as if it would not help anything.
Yeah, and just real quick, may I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, with nearly 5,000 people, live and in this live stream, I just want to, publicly say, I really respect you, Kyler, for it. I respected that when you walked away. Me and you, we had our issue. We were getting into it, but I respected you, and I respect you as a man. I just want to, I love you, and you're an awesome dude. I'm looking forward to you being the kids of my grandbabies one day.
Parent to your grandbabies, yes.
Excuse me, the parent. Yeah, I said that wrong, but the parent. Yeah, you're great dude, man. I'm proud of you. And I know it took a lot of heart. You're a young guy, and right now social media is hot, Twitter's hot, all these things are hot. But you were like, I'm out. You stuck to your morals, you stuck to your guns. You were the for me, you were definitely a big part in helping me to open my eyes. The canary in the coal mine, and I'm proud of you. And I love you, and I'm proud of you.
The day after I appreciate that. The day when I got home, I posted a Bible verse, and I'm gonna quote it within. I can give you the gist of it. The gist is, what is a man to gain if? It's basically something that goes to the point of, what is it if a man gains the whole world if he loses his own soul? And I left Adventures with Purpose knowing my soul was intact.
Attaboy.
Sacrifice.
Good for you, man.
I will never give up for fame, money. Like, my soul is never for sale to anyone. That's something I will stand on forever. So if there's any buyers out there, I'm sorry, off the market. But yeah, and that it is. While I have a lot of feelings of disgust, anger. But I definitely do have a feeling of vindication that I see some sort of justice is being served in this situation. And I hope.
Don't put that in me. Cherry 2022.
It continues to go in that direction. So I don't really have much more to say on that.
And our hearts with all of you, all those who've been affected, whether it's small or monumentous. We stand with you.
Karen, why did you do that?
I stand with any victim of sexual assault or violence of any kind.
That's not where it started,
these victims, you're in my prayers nightly. I hope that you're able to find some peace, and I just pray that God puts his arms around you. And that's all I can say to that.
Good job, Kyle.
All right, love you too.
Yeah, you did good.
All right, thank you.
Feel better?
Yeah, I honestly feel like I just got a lot off my chest. I'd like to shout out my mom who's in the chat. I love you, Mom. Everybody else who's been supportive, I appreciate it.
And thanks for being here. As my son could speak and tell his truth, and get this off of his chest. He's been holding back for the last year and a half, 2 years.
I would almost every time I
It
go on
must feel so good for this kid.
I would definitely have moments
for both
I'd
of
go
them,
on a
man.
live stream and be like, "Is this the day I just
snap and tell everyone?
Just snap and tell everybody how horrible this person is." And it's like,
but you did good.
Good for you, dude.
Yes, I knew that.
Appropriate time.
I knew that it wouldn't help anybody. So, yeah. Anyways,
and what's your channel about, by the way?
To the people who are just tuning in, my channel is titled Kyler Ginn, which is my name, and it's really about the things I go do, and which is a lot of the stuff is scuba diving. There's other just fun videos, but a lot of it's just scuba diving, environmental cleanups, stuff like that. Stuff if you watched his channel when he was putting out content, it's pretty similar.
There's stuff coming.
There's stuff coming. Okay, when he was putting it out at a higher clip. So if you like scuba diving or just fun stuff in general, I do have a dive video coming out. But that's pretty much what my channel is. But that's not really what this is about to me at this moment. But yeah. Anything you'd like to say in closing? Because I think this will be probably the last time. This is the last time I talk about the situation like this.
Yeah.
So is there anything we need to get off our chest?
No, we just, this was brought to our doorstep. People were asking, did you guys know? Kyler was there for, a period of time. And also he had to come out and, speak his truth. And thank you guys for hearing his truth. And I'm proud of you.
Yeah, that's over with. But let me address this comment here. Mara Gabriella Glare, I owe you an apology. During Rodney case, I got mad at the way you came for AWP. I've been thinking of this and feeling terrible that I left your channel because of it. I'm so sorry, truly. It's very eloquently spoken. But I told you so. Ha! Ha! I freaking told you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm petty. No, I'm just kidding. The way that these guys handled that, man, that's definitely an inspiration. I mean, I honestly, Mara, I don't think anything of things like that. You don't owe me any apologies whatsoever. It's good to have you back. I'm glad you're here. And we can disagree here. We can disagree. I now, are you going to get, a rude comment from me if I disagree with you and what you said just doesn't make any sense? Yeah, that can happen. I'm guilty of that. But you're welcome here. You're not going to get blocked and thrown out simply for disagreeing. I might call you stupid if you say something really, really stupid. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be. I don't claim to be very tactful. I don't claim to be as kind as the gentleman that we're seeing here. But yeah, all I ask is that you use your common sense when you make comments in my chat. If I'm showing you receipts and yet you're still arguing with me, that's when I'm usually going to be like, dude, really? So yeah. And will I make jokes at you? Sure. But look at these other people I called Karens. Like, they know I'm just kidding. They know the nature of the channel. They're good. They're good. This is what we do here. We joke around. It's all good. People joke around with me. My right-hand mod insults me on a constant basis. Are you kidding? SB gifted Cheesy Wheezy a membership. Thank you, SB. Appreciate that.
I'm proud of you, for, you instantly felt it was off. It took me a little longer than you, but I got there. There were certain lines I wasn't ready to cross, and you just snipped it out much quicker than I did. And like I said, I'm proud of you. And guys, again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hearing what Kyler had to say. Thank you, for supporting good people out there doing good things. And let's wrap our arms around those that have been affected in a negative way.
All right.
Let's shift focus to those people who need it in a big way.
Exactly.
In a big way.
Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it. I'd like to thank you all for joining us, and thank you for allowing me the chance to speak my heart and my truth. Remember, this is my perspective and no one else's. So, yeah, I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.
I hope that you guys can follow Mara's example. I am accepting apologies. Just line them up. Go ahead, line them up. I'm accepting all apologies. I'm just kidding. Please don't. Like we can talk about much more significant things than who was right and who was wrong. Doesn't matter. I will say that I'll make this point. As long as I'm talking about this subject, there's one observation that I keep making that really, really bothers me. And I'm being serious right now. It's the fact that I think, each one of us individually should probably take a good hard look inside ourselves, because on a mass level, on that grand scale of how people's opinions get formed, it's really sad that it took Jared being a child rapist and admitting to it, or an alleged child rapist and admitting to it, in an email exchange with one of his survivors. It's really sad that it took that to get to this point, to where you're realizing what type of a person he is. Aside from that, to get to where this kid and his dad can feel safe in expressing their opinions about this person without feeling attacked, for simply stating the fact that they observed that they did this for money, that Jared is in this for money. And so to simply make that observation while still saying, okay, well, the family of victims, family of a victim got closure, great, but it's fair to question what his motives are, because other people got victimized. I make this point every time. It's pointless. It's redundant. It defeats the purpose. Ironically, their names being Adventures with Purpose, it absolutely defeats that purpose that they claim to have, which is bringing closure to victims and their families, when you victimize them in the process by creating false narratives for a dramatic effect to make your channel more successful. So there is no purpose. Adventures with Purpose is a false name. It's false advertisement. It's absolute bullshit. And I have no problem calling them out on it. Adventures with perverts, adventures with pedophiles. Pedophiles, singular. So we're going to move on. Speaking of Karens, we're going to move on. Our old friend Heels in the Air put out a video here. as we all love heels here at the channel. So moving on to Betty here. This is how she feels about it. Adventures with predators.
Today I will be speaking with Bullhorn Betty. I wanted to ask you about the Jared Leisek situation.
Now, this is obviously a mock. She's Heels in the Air has been recently adding her voice and her opinions, voiceovers on here, which I like. And she's basically parroting an interview with Betty using Betty's own footage, which I think is hilarious.
And the rape allegations.
And the whole, oh my gosh, the whole thing with Adventures with Purpose, like, wow. How do I feel about the whole Adventures with Purpose thing? I feel that it was very strategic when the other side of the family came out. It was right after Kylie Rodney case. It was right after they were getting...
Already victim blaming. Now it's strategic that they came out.
National recognition for the work that they were doing.
They come out just as they're getting national recognition for the work that they're doing. Oh, okay.
This is something that happened 30 years ago. It sounds like when both of them were very young. As a teenager myself, I mean, we did a lot of...
Wow. Wait.
Stupid shit when both of them were very young. As a teenager myself, I mean, we did a lot of stupid shit when we were younger. Does it define who I am as an adult?
Okay. Yeah, it does, actually, Betty. As a teenager, we did a lot of stupid shit. Let me tell you something. I did stupid shit as a teenager. I did stupid shit as an adult. I don't count raping a child as stupid shit, okay? I count that as the most vile, disgusting behavior that anybody could engage in, besides maybe serial killing. Cold-blooded murder. That's disgusting. I can't. And it's amazing because she still manages to put out shit that makes me mad. She still manages to say something new every time to make me mad. That, as a teenager, raping a 9 to 10-year-old kid is stupid shit. Just blown off as stupid shit, like stealing a hubcap, like breaking a window, right? Yeah, no, that's stupid shit. Stealing a candy bar is stupid shit.
Adult.
Well, what would make a sister and a cousin come out with allegations like this?
Don't understand the whole 30-year thing. Outside of just trying to, use it as a weapon. Maybe they...
Now, we're talking about somebody right now who says that coming out 30 years later, she's saying that coming out 30 years later, after one of the most traumatizing, if not the most traumatizing thing that a child can go through, that coming out 30 years later is there's some sort of ulterior motive there, right? And this is coming from somebody who sat on one of her live streams and talked about how she was assaulted as a kid. And now I don't know if she was or not, but I'm going to say that, or I'm going to guess, because I don't know. I'm not inside her mind. I don't know. But based on her record, where she has 42 arrests, and at least half of them being domestic violence charges involved in those arrests, she's going to sit here and have the nerve to talk about how a victim feels or how they should or shouldn't feel. How a survivor, as she claims to be, should or shouldn't feel. Okay. And how long it takes to get over it.
Feelings hurt, or it was all rushing back to her when he was becoming successful.
That seems a little harsh. Really?
Right. With all the money, $1 million here, $1 million there, set up a GoFundMe, set up this, set up that. It just seems it seems too much for me. It really does. It really sounds to me like this is something that the prosecution.
I have it on good authority that the GoFundMe was taken down. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Right, exactly, Mystery Maven. Exactly. Yeah, I just call bullshit. I say either she was never victimized, or like she's never. I'm going to say that she's never experienced that kind of trauma. That's what I'm going to say. That's not to say that she was never victimized. I'm going to say that she's so fucking heartless that she can't even relate to somebody who actually was. She can't empathize with someone who actually was. So yes, that's good news that the GoFundMe was taken down. It was a bad move to put that up. I talked about that on my last live. And we explained why. I'm not going to get into it again, but it was a good move if we want justice served. It's not to say that it would actually cost it. It would just be a better move to help ensure that. But I'm going to say that I don't believe that she's ever felt that kind of trauma, because she has no ability, clearly has no ability to empathize with it. I've never felt that kind of trauma, and I can empathize with it.
The prosecution was not willing to take forward, and the family decided to push it themselves, taking on the legal obligation of proving their case to a court.
The prosecution did take the case. Have you bothered to research this at all? I forget its clown.
Is there a victim? Is there not a victim? I don't know.
Yeah, the prosecution, that's why he's charged. That's what the whole thing is about. It's not like a rumor started, you fucking idiot. It's not like that happened. What happened was documents were released that prove it. And all that's left to do is for a jury to see it, if need be. I mean, obviously there's other options, but it's basically proof, and it's basically what, at least it's what the court of public opinion has reached their verdict, because it was enough proof for that. It's also, I would say, enough for a prosecutor to use in court to prove to a jury, or else they would have never felt confident enough to charge him with 2 counts of it. 2 counts of child rape. So yeah, they are doing something about it.
I don't know what happened. It happened 30 years ago. It seems very strategic. It seems to cause brand damage. It seems to, just to try to destroy him, as opposed to because she feels wronged and wants vindication. It seems
all just to save face for herself. She's saying this. All just to save face for herself. She's saying that it's just to destroy his brand and just to destroy Jared. Jared admitted it in those emails. Do a little research, as Heels in the Air is saying here. Do a little research. She sits here and talks about how she investigates cases and she reports cases. Yet, how can you report a case when you don't look into it at all?
A lot more lying under the surface with the whole Adventures with Purpose thing.
I mean, she was allegedly raped by her cousin. I don't know which one you're talking about, but her cousin.
I don't care. Okay? I don't care about that case. I just don't. People may be up in arms. Oh, how can you be a victim, right? Don't care about this because I got children. This is one, right? This child right here is missing. I don't care about a living, breathing victim that had 30 years to recover.
doesn't care about a living, breathing victim that had 30 years to recover. Because apparently there's a time limit on it. I mean, how long is this going to take you to recover from your trauma? I mean, how dare you take 30 years to recover from your trauma? Interesting. And really, the whole purpose of this is one of the underlying main reason that she is relating to Jared so much is because we're seeing what her motives are behind the Quentin Simon case. She is mad that views are being taken away from her because everyone was talking about her asshole behavior in Savannah, Georgia, regarding the Quentin Simon case. She was real happy with all the super chats she was getting, including the hate views that she was getting. She was really happy with that. But now that that attention is being taken away from her, she's pissed off. And she's saying, I don't care about a living, breathing victim that had 30 years to recover. Why are you paying attention to that? And you're not paying attention to Quentin Simon. That's, I mean, because the cops are working on it and doing their jobs. That's why. Everybody with common sense is seeing a person that even you, including you, Betty, put on a pedestal and praised for so long, somebody that they considered to be a hero, sometimes even their personal hero, they turned out to be a child rapist when they were old enough to know better. Much significantly more older than their victim.
Okay, this
Much
environment.
older, sorry.
Do I want to see them destroyed and go away? Absolutely not. And anybody that does is an idiot. Is an absolute idiot. And please tell me one person in here so freaking perfect they never made a mistake as a kid.
I never raped a child as a kid. Yeah. Yeah, guys, type of one if you've ever made a mistake as a kid. And then I want you to type a 3 if you ever raped a kid. Type a 3 if you ever raped a kid and just saw it as a mistake, you know, or know somebody who raped a kid and you just saw it as a mistake. Yeah, I'm gonna venture to guess that there's gonna be nobody that is gonna have the audacity to type a 3 in this chat. Amanda Page put never 333, just so you know. Yeah, Jared 3, exactly. Unbelievable. Like, and people still follow her.
Because I mean, if you're looking at me to say I did do something stupid as a kid, you're wrong, right? When it comes to that kind of stuff, of course, we're all, you know.
She's so desperate for validation right now because she's sinking in her own shit.
That kind of stuff being raping children. Oh, I forget about Dolly's brother. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, Dolly's brother.
You want vindication? Then get your vindication.
Let's not forget Dolly's brother. Now I don't know. I was told that when Dolly assaulted that woman and ripped the bullhorn out of her hand, what she was doing was reading Betty's record out loud through the bullhorn, but someone later said that it was actually proof or evidence of his brother, Dolly's brother, being an incestuous child molester. We saw a video of him claiming to, and I don't even want to play it here, but video of him claiming to I don't even want to say, but his own daughter, and bragging about it, and bragging that him and his daughter were in love, and the type of relations that they were going to engage in when the video is finished. It's a disgusting video. I think that I'm not going to judge Dolly for that, but I definitely wouldn't be publicly defending him in any way, shape, or form. Like I can't. I mean, it's disgusting. I mean, I don't know how Dolly should exactly deal with that. I'm just going to be realistic in that sense, because I know that there's going to be people in here, and I wouldn't even ask you to state your opinion on here, but some of you may find it in your heart to forgive your sibling for something like that. I couldn't judge you for that. That's none of my business. Your relationship with your family is not my business. But whether he should denounce him, none of my business. I'm not here to say one way or another. That's not my place to say. And I'm not going to say it's none of your business how I would handle that situation in my family. But I definitely would not condone it, and I would not defend it publicly or privately. There's no fucking way that I would do that. Wait, do they live together? They live together. Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely want my distance. I definitely want my distance. That shit is not okay at all. I mean, it's just straight proof. Like, he made a video and released it. Dolly's brother made a video and released it.
Tell your story. Help another victim. You come there with $1 million price tag. I'm scratching my head saying, okay, is this really about because you have been affected all these years? Or are you seeing the success of this man and you can't stand it because you still hold deep grudges about what happened?
Deep grudge.
Wow. I did not
and
know
so
that.
if I'm hoping, 9 and 17, okay. I mean, sounds stupid. I don't know how I feel about that. It's a little young.
Sounds stupid. It's criminal.
Nothing to do with what this man did 30 years ago. What they're doing today has nothing, absolutely nothing, to do with what he did 30 years ago. And for the team that jumped ship,
Okay.
Sometimes loyalty has the greatest reward.
So she even goes as far as to criticize the members of AWP who quit over this because they don't want to have anything to do with somebody capable of a crime like that. Which I don't blame them. I criticize them for not acknowledging these survivors. I definitely criticize them for that and making their videos, their resignation videos, all about them and what they're going to do and how they're going to promote their channel. And fuck Nick Rin too, man. Or not. Is that his name? Nick Rin? Whatever the fuck his name is, Nick. Fuck him too, man. Like I jumped on a panel. He won't even acknowledge like how good it would be for them. You know how many people would jump on their individual channels if they had enough balls to just simply be like, we should not have created a narrative about foul play, and even throw Jared under the bus. It was his idea. I probably shouldn't have gone along with it because I'm a grown ass man, and if I'm moving forward, I promise to never do that again. But nothing to that effect at all. Just, I'm real, and and just talking about my future plans is I'm going to move forward and put this traumatic thing behind me. Your trauma? Yours? Really? Like, these guys from AWP are all douchebags. Sam, the adventure man, is the only one, as far as I'm concerned, worth a shit. And the ones that he acknowledged in his video and his son are the only people worth a shit, as far as I'm concerned.
It has its greatest reward.
The 9-year-old. 2 charges, indicted, probable cause. That's who you think they should be loyal to.
A crew. Am I going to hire the crew that jumped ship? Or am I going to hire the crew that was loyal to their last employer? Sorry. You know, loyalty means everything to me. Literally everything. If you're not loyal to me, kick rocks. Because it doesn't matter how many fights you get into, because even if loyal people fight, they spat. It's what they do with that. I spat with people all the time. You don't see me bringing it to YouTube.
Yeah, you
Indicted,
do.
probable cause.
What are you talking about?
That's who
Yeah,
you think they should be loyal to. And you wouldn't hire them if they got away from that person to save their own reputation. Are we talking about Dolly here? Bullhorn?
Right, exactly.
I think we're talking about Dolly.
It feels like we're
Nothing
talking
to do
about
with what
Dolly.
this man did 30 years ago. What they're doing today has nothing, absolutely nothing, to do with what he did 30 years ago.
Oh my God, this woman sucks, dude. God, she is fucking awful. Like, she is like the worst person.
Okay, got the message. You're loyal. You're a loyal bitch. Well, I think that pretty much does it. Clown news.
No, she does not have kids, thank God.
Clown news.
Thank God. All right. Cherry just sent me something here, folks.
Miss Falupa that y'all sent wasn't a good representative. Okay, that wasn't a very good representative to be sending out here. But makes for great entertainment. Makes for great entertainment. Make sure y'all like this video as y'all come in. All right. Say hey to your bullhorn sucks, Falupa.
God, this guy. Who is that in the background, folks? So that's this guy right here.
Okay, look.
Oh, yikes. Yikes. Oh, Dolly. Yeah, let me take my...
She's going to end up getting her ass whipped out here.
Like, regardless how you feel about how you should deal with your pedo sibling, you definitely shouldn't take him along on what you call a missing kid search. Not a good look. Not a good look, Dolly.
Oh, the lady's in her face now. It's about to be a fight. I told you. I told you it's about to be a fight.
Wow. Look at Jaundice, bro. Did he eat Molly Golightly? Is that he ate all of the rest of Beyonce's backup dancers, is what it looks like. Falupa.
I wouldn't listen to that shit. I just won't.
Wow. Oh my God, dude. Y'all are following the wrong heroes, man, on YouTube. There's just so many, like, there's just so many that are just much more worth your time and your money. You know, Gray Hughes, 10 to Life, Stephanie Harlow. There are so many worth your time. It's just ridiculous to me that down the rabbit hole news. And that's good. Yeah, I'm gonna send everybody over to Down the Rabbit Hole News because I'm actually gonna wrap this up. So, guys, make sure run over there. Tell her it's a Glera raid. Tell her you came from here. Chasing Truth as well, Gray One. Thank you. Yeah, go over to. I'm gonna log off of this one, but make sure you head over to Down the Rabbit Hole News and Burden of Proof too. Thank you, Cherry. Yeah. Sorry, Ultra Dark CEO, you're gonna be in here all by yourself. But yeah, head over to Down the Rabbit Hole News. Tell her I sent you. I love you guys very much. It was great hanging out with you guys as always. I appreciate you guys hitting the like, subscribing if you weren't already. Yes, you're gonna raid. And all your memberships and the gifting the memberships, guys, for doing that. That's amazing. I really appreciate you guys doing that. I'm sure those who got the memberships appreciate it too. Guys, I love you. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.